to Author Live, where we interview all the latest authors with the latest new top hot books. We're interviewing David Almond today to tell you about the structured devices and cliffhangers. So David, what's one of your most interesting cliffhangers in your book?
Well, I've got loads of cliffhangers in my new book, Skellig. It's so good. And basically I've got one cliffhanger which is about in chapter 3, which I'm going to go to now. And it says, no, in chapter 6, which I'm going to go to now. And it says, I looked down through the wilderness. I waited for ages, listening to Dad's bathwater banging its way through the pipes. I got my torch off the kitchen shelf. My hands were trembling. I went out past Annie's toilet, the fire and the dead pigeons. I stood at the garage door and switched the torch on. I took a deep breath and tiptoed inside. I felt the cobwebs and the dust, and I imagined the whole thing would collapse. I heard things scuttling and scratching. I edged past the rubbish bin and ancient furniture, and my heart was thudding and thundering. I told myself I was stupid. I told myself I'd been dreaming. I told myself I wouldn't see him again, but that's when I did. So, what a cliffhanger is, the real definition is a structural device used by writers to engage and interest readers and to build suspense. So that, but I did, makes you think, what's going to happen next? I want to read on, and what else is going to be in it that we want to know? So it says, it wants people to think about it, wants people to think their own ideas and then realise what happens next. And it's a very, very good idea for a writer. Thank you. So, David Almond, can you tell me another one of your cliffhangers and how it's been used?
Well, yes, in the end of chapter 31, Michael and Mina went to go see Skellig in the little house, and where they put them in the house. And he told them that his dad that he was sleepwalking, and then he says that so Skellig becomes comfortable with him and decides to show him his wings. So he stands there, and his wings opens up, and their wings opens up, and they see where it all comes from, and he gets all the good nutritions and all the energy to fly and stuff. And he says at the end, it says he was sleepwalking, and he says as he held me tight, he kept me safe. No, what I was doing, I was dreaming, I was sleepwalking. Thank you. So, David Almond, why do you think that Skellig would show Mina and Michael his wings? And would they tell anyone?
Well, I added it in to the book because I thought it was more, it exaggerated the fact that he's got wings, and I think that Skellig felt comfortable and assured around Mina and Michael, and that he knew that Mina and Michael wouldn't tell him, so he took he showed his wings, and I think he had pride in them, and I think he wanted to show that, one, he's a different person, and two, that he's extraordinary, and that Mina and Michael should know that, so Mina and Michael would know through what's going on. And I think that Mina and Michael also kind of already knew that there was something weird and exciting about Skellig, and wanted to let the readers know, and also Mina and Michael. Thank you. So, David Almond, can you tell me some quotations or some sentences about how Skellig reveals his character throughout the book?
Well, in chapter 3, he has arthritis, and then he opens up more in chapter 4 and starts getting, building up, and then when they decide to help him, they move him to the house with a house of owls, so he can watch them and he can just die there if he wants. So the owls give him food, and he builds up his suspense.
And how do you think this reveals him as a character?
Because it shows you that he builds up more, and
is it true that he changes feelings?
Yes, because he feels more comfortable over the time that he knows them. Like, for example, if I knew someone, I would feel more comfortable to express myself through them, or you know.
Thank you, David Almond.
So, David Almond, do you know any other revealing parts in the book that shows you suspense?
Yeah, like I said before, there are so many different points in the book where it slowly develops a character of Skellig, because at the beginning you do not know who Skellig is, what he is, and you don't know. So throughout the book you get told, like I said before, he has arthritis, and he's also grumpy at the beginning, but then he's turning into more of a adaptable person, feeling a little bit more comfortable around everybody else, and then he starts to reveal his wings, like I said before, and he's really starting to understand that Mina and Michael just want to help. And now, when some of my viewers read the book at the beginning, they were like, who is Skellig? And it's true, when you start reading a book, you don't know who he is. But throughout the thing, instead of at one point just telling everything about Skellig, you want to create suspense, and you want to slowly tell and say who Skellig is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, now I want you to say.
Stop.
Okay, I can just go. So, David Almond, back to cliffhangers. Can you tell me one about when Michael falls in love with Mina?
Well, yeah, in chapter 21, they go through to the 21, sorry. They go through to the garage again, and Skellig's complaining about Mina because he's a girl, and saying, who's this, and stuff like that, not being very nice and very polite. And he says, and she's extraordinary, and it just kind of creates that he's sticking up for Mina, and he likes her, and he...
Do you think there's going to be a soon love relationship between the two?
No, I just think through the book, if you read it, they're just like best friends and best of friends, and they'll do everything together. But maybe at the end they will. I don't know, but I can't tell you anything.
And when she said at the end of the chapter, it says she's extraordinary. How is that a cliffhanger, to your opinion?
It just stops there and says she's extraordinary. And then it doesn't tell you any more. It doesn't really...
Does it engage the reader?
Yeah,
because to me it does.
Yeah, it engages the reader to read on more, and it's confusing because it just finishes at the... And then it stops, and then when you read the rest, it just says something different. And thank you very much.
So, David Almond, do you think that there's any other cliffhangers in this added to it?
Yeah, there's another cliffhanger, which is what I say is an extended cliffhanger. And an extended cliffhanger goes something, and it says something more, and then in the next chapter it explains it more. Where other cliffhangers, it just stopped, and you find out more about it later on in the book. So this one, I told myself I was stupid. I told myself I'd be dreaming. I told myself I would never see him again, but I did. So that's telling you that... Because it could end. I told myself I was stupid. I told myself I'd been dreaming. I told myself I wouldn't see him again. And then later on in the book it could say, I saw him again. But in this it says, but I did.
Yeah, doesn't it kind of, I think it kind of creates suspense.
Yeah, it says, tell you, this is what. He's seen her. And something else more exciting is going to happen. And I think it's a brilliant cliffhanger, which me and my fellow writer helped me think of. And also there's a big cliffhanger, which I think some people drop out of the book. As me, David Almond, there's one cliffhanger which is so important, and it goes throughout the whole of the book, and when you read to the end it tells, the cliffhanger is, what is Skellig? Do we know what Skellig is? I'm not saying Skellig is, but do we know if he's a human being, or if he's a monster, or is it a monkey? You know, you don't know, and that's why it makes you want to read it. Or maybe the next chapter it's going to say what Skellig is. Maybe the next sentence it's going to tell you what Skellig is. And that's why it wants you to read on. And thank you so much for letting me be on Author Live. I've had a blast. And I hope all you viewers and you learn that Skellig is a book to read, and about Skellig, about structural devices, and about how Skellig is revealed throughout the book. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David Almond, for coming on our show, and you've given us a lot of advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.